Hello everybody, Gary, no longer Spooning with Nature. There's been a change. You'll see that the channel is now called Savvy Redneck, because that's what I am. And there's been a few things that led to this. The first was that I Googled Spooning with Nature, and disturbing is the only word that can come to my mind right now. I had no idea. I didn't step that through very well. I do apologize. So another thing is, as my channel's matured and progressed and went forward, it's not so much nature center anymore as much as projects here in the shop. Getting my hands on stuff, having the learning experience, and I felt like I had to change that name to reflect that a little better, and that's what I did. So we're on to another project. I hope this explains everything for you and ends any confusion that might ever come up. But next project, here we go. I'm back out here in the forge, and I got this nice little project. I was at my uncle's house, and he pulled this out of the shop and said it'd been there since he bought the house, and he wanted to know if I could make a new blade for this. It's a really interesting knife. It does have some damage here. This part here is plastic, but it's made to look like a wood swirl, you know, kind of like a black walnut, and it's the same on both ends. It's fake wood. So what I'm going to do is put a real piece of wood in here on both ends. You can see that's pinged over. It's a through tang, leather grip. It's a really cool looking knife. We'll make a sheath for it also. You know, we're this far, let's do it right. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to figure out what kind of blade this was, how long. Probably a 6-inch blade. That's about standard. And then I'll figure out the width, take it apart, get the dimensions off the tang. I'll have to grind that off. But I think that's where we're going to start. We're just going to tear it apart and start getting measurements and draw out a pattern. So here we go. Alright, I wrapped the stacked leather because it was starting to come apart. I didn't want to lose the sequence of them because that's just another nightmare in itself. So I'm going to go ahead and be able to take this handle off the stacked leather without creating myself more work. So I can get a hold of this right here. So, ta-da! And we'll just keep on keeping on. We're going to push that blade out and flatten this out again, and we'll have all of our pieces and we'll get ready to start then. Oddly enough, the thickness of this blade is the same as this ruler that I have. So that's going to help quite a bit. Just going to set on the pattern with the lines that I have, and we'll see what we can come up with. Okay, so I got the blade outline made. I'm going to put the handle in place and just kind of get a visual on how, you know, the aesthetics wise. Make sure it's not too small of a blade for the handle. Make sure it's not too big of a blade. That looks pretty good. We'll probably go with like a Bowie style or a clip point here. I haven't decided yet. Right now it's more of a spear point, but it's easier to take away than put it on there. So I'll mess around with that once I get the blade in there. But that looks like the right length for the handle. It balances well, and that's what we're going to go with. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upend it. It's wide, and it's just about the length I need, but I'm going to take out wideness. I'm going to push it together, and that's going to give me my thickness and the length all together, if it goes right. Yeah, you can see how it's starting to take a different shape. It's getting thinner, and that's what we're doing. We're just squeezing it down. Yeah, so this is what we wound up with. Get you a good view. It started out the thickness it is down here, and that's what we got. So you can see it's about the thickness we want down there, but that's going to be the tang of it. And then the blade's going to be down here. It's got a good sound. It rings. So I ran out of gas before I could get any further on this, so now I got to go and do it the hard way. So, but I did get the thickness and the length that I need and the width. So that was the hardest part. And you can see I got plenty to play with there. Alright, let's head back to the shop. So right now, putting in the ricasso. This jig makes it even on both sides. So we're going to leave it clamped on there. And just try to get the profile of the angle that I need here, the 15 to 21 degrees. And I really like this steel, I'll just say that now. But if this turns out decent, he may not get that knife back. That welded in. This is where we're going to peen it over. And okay, so we just got that filed down, or I did. And that butt cap fits under now. A little bit of play, but that's alright because we're going to be peening all that flat. That's what's going to tighten that handle up. Okay, so right now I got a 220 adhesive back on a block of wood, and I'm going to go ahead and work on this bevel. I find with a like a belt sander, it's too easy to take too much off, and you wind up just chasing that edge all over the place. So this one way it goes slow, I can get it even, and I can get a nice taper the way I want it. So that's what we'll probably be doing for the next 2 hours. Okay, so here's one day's work. That's probably enough. I just went in and sanded out the sand marks that was in there. I mean, you can see they reflect somewhat, but that's okay. We're going to heat treat it, temper it, and we'll probably put like a blue finish on it, like a gun barrel blue. Still got that divot, and I'm just going to leave it there. I got the maker's mark to put on it yet, and then we can heat treat it. It's got a real nice edge on it. It's not razor sharp yet. That's something that'll come later, but we got that far on it, and that's pretty good for one day. My hands are feeling it, and I think I'm going to be done for now. So we'll pick this up tomorrow. Okay, so now it's heat treated. I'm just going over it right now with the 320 grit sandpaper, and just bringing back that shine, and then after that I'll be bluing it. Okay, so the blade's done. Next step is we're going to blue this. I also have to blue the guard and then the butt cap. So we're going to clean them up and then blue them all together. But that turned out pretty good. Just the right shade on there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and be sure there's no grease on this thing. We'll get that all nice and cleaned up. I used some PB Blaster and some steel wool, and knock that rust down. Now I'm going to clean up a smash stone, and we'll be ready for the bluing process. Had some pretty deep rust on it though. I can't lie about that. Best I can get it though. Fully when it's coarse, I will put a light coat of rim oil on it, just to help it set in. That's not bad at all. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so what we started with, what we ended with. Well, what we started with, which is broken, what we ended with, which is not broken. So that one turned out pretty good. I'm pretty proud of that one. Okay, now for the big moment. Trying to put it all together. It's the best part, right? Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, a little bit of pressing to do, but there it is. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, let's do some fitting here. Okay, I'm just going to wrap the blade in a piece of leather and put it in the vise. Yeah, I gotta admit this is a pretty nervous part for me right here. Okay, all we gotta do is pin that down. Alright. Okay, so we're to this point. I'm gonna get these pieces to fit a little better. There's a ridge there, got a little bit there, just a little bit of sanding, and that'll be done. We'll go ahead and try to clean up the leather as best we can, but so far it's turning out pretty good. Finished product. The walnut here and here I used the true oil that I used in the last gunstock project. Seal the wood. I used boiled linseed oil on the leather. Protects it. It definitely needed that. It was worn. The blade, I did a gun blue finish on it, and you can see the edge. I've been working on that. The way I like to test the edge, just a piece of newspaper, find a decent one here, and just a slice of newspaper. It's thinner than what a typing paper is, so the edge has to be a little sharper. That's how I do that. That's what we started with. A piece of steel, broken blade, not a lot of use. That's what we finished with. A fully functioning knife. I like that grip on it. That fits just right. It's got the curves where the curves need to be, you know. This is a fun project. Had a lot of aspects to it. The woodworking, bladesmith. It was good to get back out in the forge. My hands still not where I want them to be, but they're getting better. And it was good just to get back out there and then enjoy some time in the heat. Next project, not even sure yet. But whatever it is, I'll make sure to have a video of it. And we'll have some fun with that too. So I'm Gary, Spooning with Nature. Thank you for watching.